Graffiti removal has become one of the more intriguing and important art movements of the early 21st century. With roots in abstract expressionism, minimalism, and Russian constructivism, graffiti removal is both a progressive continuation of these movements and an important step in the future of modern art. What makes graffiti removal particularly intriguing, though, is that the artists creating it are unconscious of their artistic achievements. This unconscious or subconscious production is nothing new, and examples can be identified in any urban landscape, in mediums ranging from sculpture to design to performance. Stemming from a basic natural instinct to be artistic and creative, human beings create subconscious art on a daily basis. Of course, as is the case with many conscious artists, much of the work holds little artistic merit and fits more accurately into the category of exercise. But occasionally, an individual or group will subconsciously create a work of true artistic genius. When compared to the works of the great abstract artists such as Rothko, Rauschenberg, and Malevich, graffiti removal can be seen as a culmination of many of the important movements of modern art, while maintaining its own distinctive traits and qualities. Examples of successful graffiti removal pieces, also known as buffs, will often present a balanced composition of densely layered, free-floating shapes and areas of color, and often fall into one of three stylistic forms. Symmetrical, in which a recognizable geometric order of layered squares and rectangles can be identified. Ghosting, in which the remover follows the lines of the graffiti piece it is covering, so that the general form and shape of the original tag is emphasized. And radical, in which the remover uses neither geometry nor the original tag as guidelines for their painting, often called an outside-the-lines remover. But regardless of its stylistic form, graffiti removal will always make a decisive rejection of recognizable imagery, and in fact, repress communication entirely. Graffiti removal is a layered and complex art form, and what makes the removal movement so significant is that it's unconscious, accidental, and collaborative. Removal pieces may take many months to complete and can be a collaboration of several taggers and removers. Graffiti removers are not schooled artists, but government employees who possess the qualifications of responsibility and dedication. They are trained to operate machinery, drive city vehicles, and versed in anti-graffiti legislation. They are equipped with brushes, rollers, and a palette that includes such colors as halation, dove, and red. Although graffiti removers are making aesthetic choices about color and technique in their daily routine, they do not set out to create public art, but rather to uphold anti-graffiti laws and deter civil disobedience.
Halation should be down there with those.
Well, could it be this one?
Well, obviously it's this one. Well, this says halation right here. Is that here's dove right here. I pulled it out.
You put a dove? I thought that was snow.
The streets of Portland, Oregon's Southeast Industrial District have become a hotspot in the graffiti removal movement. Creating the first official graffiti-free zone, city legislators have passed laws mandating the daily patrol and immediate removal of all tags and graffiti within this 2-square-mile area.
Portland is becoming known as very unfriendly for taggers. In a nutshell, a graffiti-free zone is where you go in and you clean the graffiti up each day. It's you go in and start in the same place and clean it up day after day. The goal being that the taggers will quit marking the territory. In terms of the rectangles that you're talking about, in terms of when we clean it up, what we do with rectangles, it's just better, it's easier on the eye if you do a square as opposed to just, you basically have an outline of the tag if you just cover the tag. The goal is not to have rectangles. The goal is really to match the building as close as we can and not have it stand out. But occasionally you have different people out there doing it, they clean it up differently and you end up with the resulting different patchwork looks out there sometimes.
While it is oftentimes difficult to get politicians and government officials to share their artistic motivations, closer examination of the interview videotapes reveal the more accurate and repressed subliminal intentions that are at work.
In terms of the rectangles that you're talking about, in terms of when we clean it up, beauty and art is the intended goal that we have when we go out and clean up.
is no coincidence that funding for anti-graffiti campaigns often outweighs funding for the arts. While not being a conscious decision on the part of the ruling class, the declared war on graffiti plays an important role in the furthering of the art form. The unconscious artistic desires of even the most conservative members of the ruling system leak out in this subconscious conspiracy to fund and promote creative endeavors. It is a complex set of circumstances that fuel subconscious art production. Human beings have a natural instinct to be creative and artistic, but conflict arises when society favors material wealth over creative expression. When individuals are encouraged to repress their natural instincts in order to pursue the accumulation of commodities, a dangerous buildup of repressed artistic desire is generated. Graffiti removal and other subconscious art forms are the natural eruption of these desires, and their ubiquitous forms speak to the passions and dreams within us all.